Hey, let's go ahead and get started with a messages from your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. I went ahead and pulled the cards, and I'm going to be honest with you. I am going to do everything in my power not to cry in this reading because I can already feel the emotion. I can feel the pain, but what I will tell you is there's a reason why all these memories are coming to the surface for whoever this is for, okay? So the overall message that we got is this card. And this card talks about, it says memories, lessons learned, choices made. Memory is the diary that all carry about with us. We all carry about this diary, okay, in our minds about our past and whether or not you actually wrote these things down in a diary when you were younger. I feel like there are memories that maybe you're either looking at these memories in a more positive or maybe in a darker light than what they really were. Okay. And for some of you, you're just looking at it. And these can be very, very painful memories of the past. And I say that because we do have the orphan card here. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to do my best not to cry reading this because I feel that whoever this is for, there is a lot of pain associated with the past. And I'll be honest with you, every single one of us has a story from the past that maybe we would have liked to have changed. A woman closes her eyes as she contemplates treasured memories from the past. She releases to the world all the details of her thoughts and feelings, successes and failures, good times and bad. Remembered moments fly about her as pages from a diary swirl like flat falling leaves. From an open locket, a golden light streams with images of loves lost but not forgotten. Embracing a favorite doll that remains with her still, she relives all that has been. This card captures tender moments and childhood joys. And I feel like the memories of the past, it's as if even when people could have been all around you, you felt all alone. You felt like you always had to protect yourself. Seven of Wands, Seven of Spring. This is about having to be assertive, not backing down from what you believe in, and courageously standing up for yourself and feeling like there was nobody there who stood up for you, no one there who protected you. Even when you were in so much fear, you were so afraid, but yet you were afraid of or the people that you were supposed to be able to go through or go to for protection. I'm sorry, you guys. I am really having a tough time with this reading. This is where someone felt so alone in their childhood. And I say that here because we also have Leo. And Leo represents the child, your childhood, children. And because of how you felt in the past, there's a lot of epiphanies. There's a lot of those memories coming to the surface. And you need to let them come up. And I feel that that has a lot to do because we have two cards here of Scorpio, and the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. And as I am doing this reading today, we have Pluto retrograding in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is about death, decay, and destruction. It's also about secrets. And being that it is now in retrograde, it's going into the subconscious. Pluto has a lot to do with subconscious energy and things that have been holding you back from the past. And I feel that, I feel like memories from the past are coming to the surface for the healing. I see all the blue here. And the blue is a healing energy. But it's also, we have the Ace of Swords, which is the Ace of Winter in this deck. And it talks about not only epiphanies and, I feel like you're intuition. I feel like your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors are helping these memories come to the surface in order for you to transmute them. And for some of you, maybe there's a reason these things that you went through as a child is why you are so defensive today. It's why you defend even your own children the way that you have, is because maybe you didn't have anybody there for you who stood up for you, who was assertive, who wouldn't back down and protected you as a child. You didn't have that. And how I know is because you were orphaned. So maybe for some of you, you didn't have your parents. For others of you, you could have been raised by other people. For others of you, your parents were there, but maybe they were, it's like feeling all alone even when there's someone in your, right next to you. And maybe, your parents were, they weren't capable of being what you needed when you were a child. And maybe that's why you've been so aggressive in your life. Maybe for you, like I said, we have Aries here. And Aries is the warrior of the zodiac. I'm an Aries ascendant. I know, man. I will go in head first. And I will protect my family because I didn't have that protection as a child. I didn't have anybody battling for me as a child. I had people battling against me as a child. Like I was talking to a sister yesterday and she was saying, one of my parents had guardianship over her and we were talking and she was like, you were such a brat. And I said, no. I said, I said, I was a warrior. And she looked at it and she goes, you know what? Now that I think back, you're not wrong. She goes, we were all gone and we all kind of left you and you had to do it all on your own. And I'm like, yeah, but that can be being seen as me being a brat. But really, in all actuality, I had to protect myself because I had no one there protecting me. And I had to stand up against a lot of adversity and against people who were supposed to be there to protect me. So I understand this energy. And I guess that's why, like, I share my vulnerability because I know that... sorry, you guys. I know that I'm not the only person who has ever gone through these experiences. And so with the Six of Cups here, this is about looking back at the past. This is about, letting the past die. We're standing at this fork in the road and we are all getting ready to go into this new world, and a world that we create for ourselves. But that doesn't erase the past completely. And I feel like with Pluto now going retrograde, this is about us really facing the past so that we're not faking it and trying to put it behind us, but actually facing it so that we don't stay stuck. We don't stay tied with this monkey on our back anymore. We don't have to be tied to the people, places, and things that made us feel less than. And for some of you, maybe you have mementos. Maybe you have trinkets. Maybe you did sit down and write out a diary. Or maybe for some of you, you just keep that diary in your head and in your heart. And that's why you have so much pride. But that's also why you have no problem standing up against things that you see are bad. Even when people fight against you. It's like for me, I fight for my family. I've always fought for my family. But the more I fought for them, the more they fought against me. The more I was the outcast. And the more I was the one who was considered unruly or unlovable. It was never unconditional. And we become healers when we've been through so much trauma and we've been through so much turmoil in our lives. that we go through some of the most horrifying mistakes of our lives. You know, we get into drugs because we go to numb it out. And then, you know, people give you an excuse as to why you are the way that you are. But the rest of us, you know, we decided, you know what, we're not going to be a victim of circumstance. You know, we want to be a success story. And that's what the Chariot represents. Is we're going to end that cycle once and for all. And the 21 here, the world, is the world card, the clean it up. This is where we clean it up. We have conquered that mountain. We have overcome. And we are here to help clean it up for everyone else and help humanity go through their experiences. And in doing so, not only are we going to be successful, but luck is on our side and we really are protected. So for those of you who have found that they had a less than savory childhood, where you went through so much pain and sorrow and you felt all alone, you had to go through these nightmares all by yourself, no more. You won't have to anymore, because you get to go into a period of your life where you get to move on. And that's why we have to go through this one last go around with Pluto getting ready to enter back into Capricorn. It's traveling back as we speak, as it's retrograding today. By September 1st, it will be all the way back into Capricorn. And Capricorn is about our family and our traditions. It's about the father matriarch. And maybe for some of you, you had a father in your life. When I look at Leo here, that wasn't there to protect you. The sun represents the father. And Capricorn represents the father as it's ruled by Saturn. And maybe for some of you, you didn't have a father that was there to protect you. That father disappointed you. And I'm not saying that the mother was much better, because when I look here, I see for some of you, you may have been orphaned. Maybe the mom died, or dad passed away, or, you know, or dad was there and mom was abusive, or mom was abusive and dad was there, and or both of them were, or, you know, we all have our own story. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I guess this is my way of showing you that I am human and I do have emotion too. And I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but this is me being vulnerable. And maybe that's what you guys need to see is, you know, just because we know these things doesn't mean that we're immune to the suffering or the sadness, or that we haven't. The reason why we are who we are, the ones that are sitting here doing this, is because we've had a lot of trauma. I know for myself, I have had so much trauma. And I don't have anything from my childhood except for the memories. And those are forever embedded within myself. But that is why I have worked so hard to overcome all of what tried to break me. And that's what I have, that message that I have for you is, you can overcome what was sent here to break you. There really is light after this period of darkness. You know, Scorpio is that darkness. It's Pluto, it's Mars, it's always having to fight. But Pluto is about death, decay, and destruction. And then we have the sun here in Leo. And so Leo represents our happiness, and we have a choice. That's where this fork in the road is a choice. It's a choice. Do we want to continue to be chained to the memories of the past, or can we learn to forgive our past? Imagine what your world would be like if none of this existed. Wow. Don't be deterred by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately. Amazing new ideas that should be implemented. You went through these experiences, but now it's time for you to do something honorable with the experiences that you have been through. In order for you to move on, volunteer for an organization. Help children who are in need. The reason why I went into the industry that I did is because of the trauma that I experienced. I needed someone like me when I was a child. So I became her. I became someone that people could be proud of. I became someone that could help others overcome their circumstances, their trauma. And yes, I may be harsh and I may be blunt, but I am honest and I am fair. And it's because of what I went through in my experiences as a child. And I've forgiven, but man, I can't forget, because those memories, it's like you think you get over them and then a planet retrogrades and then it brings up that trigger and it like hits you like a ton of bricks and you're like, oh my God, like I thought I was through that. I thought I was okay, but that's because we are trained to ignore it or push it under a rug, but it's still underlying. It's good to cry. It's good to let it out. The tears are here to help wash away the pain of the memories that have had you locked in for so long. I read this thing yesterday and it really, really hit me. It says, 2 girls can have the same drunk dad. One will grow up to be a drunk because their dad was, and the other will refuse to be because their dad was. Same parent, same environment, different choices. It says, you're all pushing 30 and 40. How long do you intend to use your childhood as an excuse for your poor behavior, poor treatment of others? At some point, operating in trauma is a choice, and so is healing. And that's what I see here with the fork in the road as the center of the reading. It's like you have a choice from this point forward. Are you going to continue to keep yourself chained to your past and using it as an excuse? Or are you going to make the decision to cut yourself and break yourself free of all this, even if that means that you have to protect yourself and keep yourself away from the people who continue to hold you hostage in your past? And maybe that means that you have to go off and go at it alone. But sometimes it's better than continuously being beaten down for something you did in the past that you're working so hard to overcome. And I see a lot of people here who feel all alone. But I also see where, for some of you, you're aiming for the stars. You've learned. When I look at this card, it says luck is on your side. This is Jupiter energy, and Jupiter is the guru. You have learned so many lessons from the experiences that you went through in your childhood. And because of that, luck is on your side, and you will be a magnet for miracles if you are willing to cut ties and use this Ace of Swords. Everything that you could have ever imagined is on the other side of fear. Fear of not being accepted. Like for me, I've had to go out and I've had to make my own family my whole life. I've learned how to do that because, they say that family lasts forever. No, loyalty does. I have no loyalty in my family whatsoever. I've been loyal to my family, but my family is not loyal to me. It's like, for me, my family, any outside influence can come in and they can literally say whatever they want about me. And even though they see the type of person I am and they see what I'm doing, they'll take another person's side over my own. And I'm like, you guys should know me better. Like, and it's funny because my followers know me better than my own family. And it's crazy. It's insane, but this is part of my family karma. And I'm sure there are a lot of people from my generation who too have the same type of family karma. But the Chariot here says you're moving on. For some of you, you really are moving. When I see the Sagittarius card here, Sagittarius also represents foreign places, foreign people, foreign lands. So people politica, it's all about doing the right thing. It's about justice. And I think the justice is that you move on. Success that comes from dedication and self-discipline. Celebrating your accomplishments and being in the spotlight. And I think for a lot of you, you're going to be in the spotlight. You're going to be in the spotlight. I see that here with the sun. And don't be afraid to show your vulnerable side. Just like I will post this. And you know what? I may name it The Ugly Truth. Because this is the ugly truth. And this is about my life as well. And I definitely, wow, I feel this reading so deeply. I think this is the absolute first reading I've ever done on YouTube where I've cried the entire way. Normally I can cry and then suck it back in like an Aries normally does. And I am an Aries ascendant. But man, this one's really got me. Because I know that I'm not the only one feeling this. Whoever has gone through these experiences, I just know that my soul recognizes your soul and that you are not alone. And I too have been on my knees, and I remember screaming to some God that was out there to just help me and to save me and to help me heal. And that's when I found this path. And so these are not tears of sadness about, oh, I'm a victim. By no means. Because listen, this is why I started doing astrology. Astrology is what saved my life. And tarot is what saved my life. These oracle readings. And it was because I recognized, like, we are all interconnected. We are all one. And when I realized and I started talking to other people around me and I started seeing the patterns of the people, you know, it would be great if, you know, out of all the elements, the one element that I would love to give up would be the water element. And why? Because we would be able to breeze through. Oh, mom didn't like me. Oh, dad was an asshole. Oh, you know, my teacher, you know, people tried to bully me. Whatever. I don't fucking care. You don't even think twice about it. You just keep fucking going, right? There is no human emotion. You don't cry about it. You don't take that time to lay in bed and suck your thumb, curled up in the fetal position, crying for your mommy. You know? You just go, oh, okay, you know, oh, it's just a movie I once watched or a book I once read. It's no big deal. But then when that book comes back around for you to reread, you know, when you have this thing called human emotion, that's when you feel like, holy shit, you know? Holy shit. But I will tell you guys, like, you went through all of what you went through because the next portion of your life, the next chapter of your life, unless you allow this to continue and you try to hold on and you keep trying to fix people's, you know, perception of you, that's when it will continue. Don't try to glorify the past, but also don't try to make it worse than what it really is. At the end of the day, see it for what it is and process it. Take the trinkets and the memories and the good times and the bad times and allow them to teach you. And forgive yourself for learning this lesson because you chose your parents and you chose your experiences and the trials and tribulations that you came into in this lifetime. And I will tell you right now, you are creating the karma for your next life. So if you don't like what went on in this lifetime, then it is time for you to actually start manifesting for a new lifetime. And that means learning the lesson from this one, because I will tell you that if you pass away or the people that you haven't been able to have that mends with pass away, you will have to redo this lesson. That is a promise in the next lifetime. And maybe not the next one, but the one after that, because at the end of the day, you don't get to skip steps and you have to start back over. So it's entirely up to you. You guys, The future looks absolutely bright. This is just definitely a very pivotal time, and a lot of our emotions and a lot of our subconscious is coming to the surface for us to heal once and for all. Pluto will transit back into Capricorn on September 1st. So whatever lessons that you've been learning since 2008, those are going to come up for review for you to finish them out, final, once and for all. We start back up with Pluto in Aquarius for another till 2044 on November 20th. So in the meantime, let's clear out all of this stuff that we've been holding on to. And I'll tell you right now that by the end of this year, going into 2025, and especially in 2026, you're going to see all of the victory and success coming in from you cleaning all of this up and letting it die. You are like the phoenix rising from the ashes at this time, you guys. So definitely take this time to feel your emotions, allow them to come up. Don't let pride get in your way. Oh, I can't cry. I have to suck it up. And, that's how I've been my whole life, is I was never allowed to cry. And now, well, I can show a side of vulnerability, and say that I am human too. You guys, I love you all so much. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in a personal reading, all my information's in the description box down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It does help my channel grow. And just know, you guys, I am so appreciative of you being here. Just remember, if you are incarnated on this earth at this time, which if you are watching my channel, obviously you are, you're here for a reason. Okay? It's up to you to find out what that reason is. Anyway, love you all so much. Take care.